associates or just the culture in general exert pressure on us. The people around us make subtle and not so subtle comments indicating that we've gone too far with this saved stuff. Girl, you done got too holy. It used to be fun, but we don't want to hang out with you anymore. Now that you ain't cussing nobody out, now that you ain't drinking that liquor like you used to drink, long as you ain't dropping it like this. Stop trying to be like them church folk. Culture makes it easy for us to conform, to be one thing on Saturday and another thing on Sunday, depending on who you're with and what are the circumstances. It's not easy being positive when everything around you is negative. It's not easy operating in excellence when others are doing just enough to get by and wondering why you have to overdo it. It's not easy studying so you can do well in your classes when others are partying and could care less. It's not easy living holy when others have friends with benefits. Yeah. The world exerts all kind of pressure on us to go along just to get along and adapt to its way of thinking. But now that we are saved, we are called to be counterculture. Say counterculture. Paul is saying in the J.B. Phillips translation of this text, don't let the world squeeze you into its mold, but let God renew you so that your whole attitude of mind is changed. The Message Bible says it this way: don't become so well adjusted in your culture that you fit in without even thinking. Instead, fix your attention on God and you will be changed from the inside out. Now that we are Christians, we have a different way of living, a different way of reacting, a different way of handling the pressure. We're new creatures in Christ. Paul says anytime a person is a new creature, old things have passed away and all things have become new. And First Lady said to us, you grown now. You got to put away those childish. Paul tells us the way we do that is to first of all offer our bodies as living sacrifices, which is our spiritual act of worship. The Greek word for worship basically means to minister or to serve. It refers to a ministry that is performed for God. Spiritual worship is an act of ministry or service for God. All of us are ministers. God has made us a kingdom of priests to offer sacrifices to God. We are living sacrifices, offering ourselves to God. This is a one-time presentation made the moment we surrender our lives and our hearts to God by faith. But we have to constantly renew our covenant relationship. How about there? God has claimed our bodies as his temples where he lives by his spirits. We are not our own. We've been bought with a price. Therefore, we are to honor God with our bodies. Everything we say, do, and think ought to bring him glory. As a temple of the living God, we're to represent him. And when people see us, they ought to see God in their midst. And it ought to be easy for them to connect with God, to be attracted to God, to love God, to fall in love with him, even as we have. And when they see us, they ought to know that there's some kind of difference between us. See how powerful and influential you are? Don't you watch as people, or see as people watch you enter the room? Watching how you act and react how you handle your business and your pleasure, the way you respond in difficult situations. We're living in difficult and dark times, and our light exposes the darkness, overcomes it, and gives hope and help. The people who shun us, the people who joke about us being so saved, really need us not to get down with them in the dirt again, but to show them the way to Christ. They don't need us responding to that foolishness with more foolishness. They don't need us to cuss them back when they cuss at us. They don't need us to act out. The other day, my petition shared with me that a young woman had come to school to fight her daughter. And her daughter showed out and got suspended from school. Both young women got suspended from school. The mama went there. And what did she do? A minister in her church, mind you, showed out, told me about it, and was proud of herself. I waited a week and let her cool off. Then she brought it up again. And I said, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. That principle didn't need for you to get down on the level of your daughter.
Amen.
I'm talking to somebody up in here. Whatever happens, you need to be able to handle it. Being transformed and living a new life is not only offering your bodies as living sacrifices, but being renewed in your mind. Our minds are the control center of our attitudes, feelings, thoughts, and actions. As a woman thinks in her heart, so is how we think determines how we perceive or see things. How we feel, act, or react. Our thoughts determine our character. When our minds are operating according to the pattern of this world, we see, think, act, and react just like the world. But a renewed mind is a mind that's being made new by the Holy Spirit of God. It's a mind that sees things from God's perspective. A renewed mind is a mind that has none of the normal human limitations of comprehension and understanding. God can reveal things to us by His Spirit that the rest of the world cannot comprehend. When you have a renewed mind, temptations don't have the same effect on you. When you have a renewed mind, your desires are not the same, and even when they are, you have power to transcend them or master them. When you have a renewed mind, your ambitions have changed and are rearranged. It no longer seems impossible to do the things that God wants you to do because you want to do them. That's what it means to live new. You gotta first think. The primary way that our minds are shaped and made new is through the Word. We are shaped by God's revelation of reality through Scripture. When we hear the word preached or taught, when it's communicated through personal witness or song, through study or meditation, God uses it to renew our minds. A renewed mind is so flooded, so saturated with truth, that we can determine the divine perspective on everything. So you don't have to wonder, what is the right thing for me to do? What's the right choice for me to make? Who is the right person who needs to be in my life and who does not? How do I respond and not react? There is a difference, you know. Most of us react. We cuss folks out in reaction, but when we take time to respond, we think about it first and try to figure out what does the word say concerning this, and how do I mean. You wouldn't have cussed your husband out this morning on your way here if you had given the word. It's quiet up here. The Word is God's divine revelation at your fingertips. we are transformed by truth. It's for this reason that we have to constantly read and study and meditate on the word. We just can't hear the word on Sunday, even if you go to all 4 services, 6 services. You can sign up for every Bible study in every season. You gotta have some word every day. You can't just sing about the word. You gotta study the word. You can sing about the word all day long and still live beneath your privileges in Him. Am I right about it? That word has to be written on your heart so that you might not sin against Him. A renewed mind is a mind that thinks like God thinks. Thinking like God thinks requires focusing on a higher level, keeping our thoughts elevated. Earthbound thinking causes us to see things that could potentially distract us. Like the Sunday I was in church just preaching and I was going with it. And then somebody got up, a young man, and walked away. And he distracted me. He didn't mean to distract me. But for that moment, what I realized is my thinking was earthbound. Well, it's not even an inappropriate thought, but just a distraction. That's what you're dealing with. A distraction. Living with a husband that says things that are unkind to you. A distraction. Working on a job with folks who don't understand who you are. And so they think they can say anything to you. A distraction. Looking at the news and seeing the 45th president of these United States of America acting like a plumb fool. That's a distraction. Allowing it to get us off. You know the distractions that you're working with. But when you have the mind of Christ, you see things from His perspective. You keep your mind elevated. And the way to keep your mind elevated is to constantly exchange old thoughts for new ones. Our minds are constantly putting on the garbage. What does Colossians 3 say? Now that you have been raised with Christ, think about those things. Not the earthbound thinking. What did you come in here with today? What was on your mind? Why did you allow the enemy to download negative thoughts? To distract you. First of all, from being a blessing to the rest of us. Getting what God has for you. He does not want us. You know when you said it? As soon as we get to the parking lot. No, as soon as we get to the fellowship hall. He's not gonna wait that long. He's working on some of y'all. Because just as it got good to you, then you began to think about what you gotta go home and deal with. And the enemy is saying you need to finish that argument you started. Well, he started and you finished. What? The word said, no. I know what the word says, the enemy is saying. But I'm telling you, if you don't get that straight, if you don't show him who you are. We also tend to think the worst about every situation. Negative thinking. You go to the doctor and they tell you they find a lump in your breast, and immediately you are convinced it's cancer. No, all lumps are not cancer. All disagreements don't end up in divorce courts. Every time you find yourself in debt up to your eyeballs, that doesn't mean that you have to go bankrupt. What does the word say? We have to constantly hear from God. Constantly discern our situations from his perspective. Let me give you a biblical illustration. You know Joseph, don't you? Joseph was the son of Jacob, who had 12 sons. Joseph was the dreamer. He made the mistake of telling his father and his brothers that he had a dream, that one day they would all bow down. It was true, but he shouldn't have told them. But in his naivete, some of us share our dreams with people who we don't need to be sharing our
Yes, I just said that. Yes.
Only to have them tell us you could never accomplish that, as if they know what God has deposited in us. Negative thinking. And so we take what people say to us. Well, anyway, Joseph's brothers were determined to get rid of him, and they sold him down into Egypt. And when he got down to Egypt, he went to work for a man named Potiphar. Potiphar's wife lusted after him, threw herself on him, then accused him of trying to rape her, which wasn't true. Potiphar put him in jail. He languished in jail for 13 years before the victory was given to him.
Yes.
And when he came out, he was made second in command of the kingdom at age 30. I learned something today. And so he was made second in command. Now, here you are. God is doing awesome and wonderful things in your life. You never had it so good. But what you went through for the last 13 years, the brothers, the sisters, the friends, the colleagues who did it to you, what shall be done to them is what you are thinking. How can I get even? Then you become bitter and resentful, and it's eating you up on the inside. Joseph could very well have been bitter and resentful. You know what saved him? He kept taking off those old thoughts and putting on the mind of Christ. Do you hear what I'm saying? He kept taking the old stuff off and put it on. You can't put in the new till you take it out the old, because they are not compatible. They're not on the same page. There'll be a constant pulling you down, but you gotta make an exchange in and out. Out and in. that Joseph overcame. When he had a chance to confront his brothers, he said, "Oh, don't worry about what you did to me. You mean he gave up 13 years of horror? Don't worry about it. You meant it for evil. But God meant it for good. And what God has done is taken that setback and made it a setup. He's elevated me. He's taking me to the next level. When you have a renewed mind, and you know God works together in all things for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. Did you know that what people mean for evil, God means for good? And when you're all grown up, you can go back to him and say, "Thank you for what you did to me. Thank you for talking about me. Thank you for putting me down. Thank you for keeping me to the ground. Thank you for divorcing me. Thank you for leaving me. Let me down. Come on and get my praise. If you know how to get the victory." We wouldn't be where we are today if we hadn't had some abuse, if we hadn't had some ill treatment, if we hadn't fallen or lost our way. The blood, Lord have mercy, was enough to not only clean us up, but present us faultless before the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, who gives us favor every day of our lives. Hallelujah! The blood was enough to set us up for success. Nobody can believe that we are where we are and do it when we know they don't even know where we came from. And can I tell you, I can't even remember where I came from. Every now and then, the enemy tries to bring it back. I tell him guilty as charged. But Jesus paid it all. All to him I owe. Sin had got the prince of sin. He washed it. Look at me. That's what I want you to do. I want you to look at your girlfriend and say, "Look at me."
Look at me.
Can you see the new woman that I am becoming?
Can you see the new woman I am becoming?
Can you see the new woman that I am becoming? Look at me. Look at me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I once was in debt, but now I'm free. I once was hurt, but now I got the victory. I once was mad at you know what, but I got joy every day of my life. Hallelujah. Now thank you, Father. hour. Just sing your song. Tell of the goodness of the Lord in your life. Let some sister today know what God has done for you. Let your husband know what the Lord has done for you. You may not even say a word. Just walk in there and don't continue the conversation. But give him a big hug and kiss. Remember, you have help. The Holy Spirit. He does not leave us
Nor forsake us.
nor forsake us.
Yes, Lord.
He walks right by our side every step. Every step of the way. Have you got some stuff you need to dump today? Guess what? I want you to dump it, but here's how I want you to do it. I want you to stay all day. See, we like to come to this altar and pray. You can pray right there in your seat.
That's
I
right.
want you to come, dump it. I love this. Because see, you're going to look at it. Stay. Just drop it. Drop it.
Yes. Yes.
Have we got time for that? Let me check over small box. Here's what I want you to do. Some of y'all already coming.
Yes.
I just gotta drop this right here.
Yes.
Right quick. Can first lady and I go? Come on, dear first lady. Let's talk about that. His love. Kathy, you're always so right. You sing just exactly what we need to hear. Go on. Now you God created you to be. Whatever you have.
I'm sure you feel a lot lighter right now. There are those of you who came with burdens, carrying weights. And as we were going through that, I was remembering what the Lord had once said, and that is, we were in illegal possession, carrying what God didn't give us to carry.
Amen.
But you're free now. Walking in liberty. Your countenance looks different. There's a joy that emanates from the inside. And so for that, we give God thanks. But I want that to be a permanent change. I want you to walk away knowing that God truly is with you, that He has done a great work of deliverance. But that belongs to those of you who have accepted Him as Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior of your life. If you cannot say with an assurance that when you leave this earthly place, that heaven is your eternal resting place, we can get that straight today. We're not living on mother's prayers and grandmother's prayers. But you got to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that God has saved you. The doors of the church are open. Please don't leave here the same way that you came. Don't leave here with a temporary joy. But walk away knowing that God has truly done a work in you. And the only way that you can know that is if we get that salvation thing straight. Ladies, you came from far and near. Far and near. You came to the altar and dropped your weights. Let's make sure that change is whole and complete. If you would please touch the sister to your left and to your right. In front of you, behind you, and ask them, is the Lord waiting for you? Even for those of you who are in the rosters, is the Lord waiting for you? And if you're not sure, I'm sure that your sister sitting next to you will walk with you. Just stand right where you are. And come down the aisle. For truly, He has something greater than you could ever possibly imagine. Somebody came to church today angry with God, not understanding why your circumstances happened, why He took that loved one away, why did your finances fail, why did you lose your job, why did your husband leave you, why? But I want you to know that we serve a sovereign God. There is no situation that we endure that is too hard for Him. Is the Lord's hand waxed short? Is anything outside of His reach? That burden, that hurt, that pain that you've borne? Receive what He has for you today. If you went to your left, go to your right. If you went in front of you, go behind you and ask Him one more time. Is the Lord waiting for you? Cynthia.
Yes.